Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Nina from TOVA Community Health. I am back for another season of TOVA Tuesday, and I thought this time we would explore the world of holistic health. And the reason being is that preventative health is very important in helping to improve your overall health and wellness. And today I have a special guest to talk about naturopathic medicine, Dr. Bowman. So, welcome, Dr. Bowman,
Thank,
to Tova Tuesday. How are you today?
thank you so much, Dr. Nina. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you and so excited to hear about all of the great things that you're doing to heal our community. And I just want to jump right into talking a little bit about naturopathic medicine. What is a naturopathic doctor?
So, a naturopathic doctor is a doctor of natural holistic medicine. And so, what a naturopath will do that's pretty different and sets us apart from an allopathic doctor or physician would be that we identify the root cause of the individual's condition or ailment uh, to come to identifying the correct appropriate intervention to assist them to better health. Also, we treat the patient in a way to stimulate their innate inherent ability of their body to heal itself, because we're perfectly designed, and the body, for the most part, has the ability to restore itself to health if guided and given the correct materials. And also, what makes a naturopath very different from a conventional allopathic physician is that the doctor actually teaches the patient how to achieve wellness and health. And so they encourage and foster a responsibility in the individual and the patient to take care of their health.
Wow. So it's more of a holistic approach because you want the individual to heal them, help to heal themselves. And then also the mind and the body are connected in so many ways. So if you don't address one issue, then the other one will kind of fall from the wayside. So it seems to be a very holistic approach to helping an individual deal with some of their ailments and their conditions. Would you say that's correct?
Absolutely, absolutely, and pretty much like the focus, the main focus, which really sets us apart, is that the focus is on diet. You know, food is medicine essentially for us. So we really treat the individual not just as a condition or uh, deal or assess with the problem that they're presenting with, but also we're looking at lifestyle, we're looking at diet, we're looking at environmental influences and factors, genetics even, that affect that individual's health. So like you mentioned, Dr. Nina, we're looking at the whole person, the holistic approach to the individual's health.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So may I ask, some people will say, well, you're not a real doctor. You don't have an MD behind your name, but
Right,
you
right.
went to medical school. Talk
I
about
sure
your
did.
training.
Oh
And
my
I'm sure it
goodness.
wasn't
Wow.
easy either.
It was so amazing, actually. And we'll probably talk about it a little more in a bit, but it was 4 years of rigorous coursework, a lot of sacrifice, late nights, long commutes, but essentially 4 years after college, after university, I attended a 4 year medical school, the University of Bridgeport College of Naturopathic Medicine. And my training, no different from a medical doctor. We did the basic sciences, and just as they did, we also studied pharmacology so we can understand the way that drugs work and operate in the body, and what they do to the individual. The difference between the naturopathic medical education and the allopathic medical education is that Their focus is on the pharmacology, where although we take the pharmacology courses, our emphasis is on diet, so clinical nutrition, botanical medicine, homeopathy, physical medicine, mind-body counseling, um, uh, lifestyle modification. We also get training in homeopathy, hydrotherapy, and acupuncture. So we learn more of natural therapeutics in addition to the pharmacology, where there's is the opposite. They have more of an emphasis on the pharmacology. And then my understanding is that they do receive like some nutritional education, some clinical nutritional education, but it's very small in comparison to our studies. So we are licensed after we graduate from medical school. We sit for a licensing exam. And so I am a licensed naturopathic doctor. And in some jurisdictions and states, some naturopathic doctors have prescriptive rights. They can do minor surgery, even obstetrics, gynecology, and childbirth, natural childbirth. So naturopathic doctors are in fact real doctors. We just do things a little bit differently. We address the patient's health in different ways
Thank you
from
so
medical
much.
doctors. Mm-hmm.
Can you see the screen here, Dr. Bowman?
Yes.
Okay, so as we were saying, and Dr. Bowman was eloquently saying, is that she is a real doctor, everyone. She has a very extensive training and background in medicine. And Dr. Bowman was born in Bronx, New York, and has spent a lot of times in the Caribbean, especially the West Indies, St. Thomas and Antigua. But, to her journey to become a naturopathic doctor, it was because she suffered a lot from hives when she was a very young child. And that led her to try to find other alternative options to help manage these flare-ups. And she realized, Dr. Bowman, that she wanted to restore hope to her health and patients. And just like everyone else, she went to regular and traditional high school, but she has some extra training, which Dr. Bowman, I will ask you to share with our audience about your background. So what is the Sophie School of Biomedical Education? And talk to us about your medical school training as well.
Yes. So I was fortunate enough to be selected after applying I believe I was in my junior year in high school, to the Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education at the City College of New York. It was a program that they were holding there, and it was a 7-year BS-MD program. So I had initially had my heart set on becoming a medical doctor. I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. And so I enrolled after graduation from high school, and I completed my first year, and I was into my second year when things started to change. And as you mentioned, Dr. Nina, from the age of 8, I started suffering with chronic urticaria or hives daily. Saw a number of specialists, doctors, even some holistic practitioners as well. And no one could really tell me why I was experiencing these hives. We couldn't get to the root of it, and there was no cure in sight or no alleviation of the symptoms, except to just take Benadryl and eventually Claritin and then Zyrtec on a daily basis. So by this time, from 8 years old to about 19, I thought, this is not what I want to offer the people that I want to service and help when I become a doctor. So I really started thinking if that was the track I wanted to take. So that was, as I mentioned, Sophie Davis is a 7-year BS-MD program, and you don't have to sit for the MCATs, which was so appealing for me because I thought,
I'm sure.
I don't have to take another big test, right? After SATs, I was done. I tell you.
Yes.
So I decided to withdraw from the program, and then I continued my education at City College.
Mhm. And so University of Bridgeport College of Naturopathic Medicine, was that after you went to the went to City College? I mean,
Correct.
finish your studies. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about that?
Yes, certainly. So after completing my undergraduate at City College, I was working, and a friend had already told me about like homeopathy while I was considering withdrawing from the Sophie School of Biomedical Education program.
Mhm.
And um, so I started looking into it and finding out that you could be a doctor of natural medicine rather than just an allopathic doctor. So I was really curious. And so after graduation, I started visiting the campus at UB in Connecticut. They hosted open houses, so I went to at least three of them,
Mhm.
and I met some now phenomenal doctors. At the time, they were undergrads themselves who really shared the experience of being um, one local to home and studying naturopathic medicine, because at the time um, there was only this school, UB, on the East Coast. Most of the other naturopathic medical schools were in the West or in the South. And so it was really convenient that this was really kind of close to home. And so uh, that appealed to me. And then I learned that the school was applying for accreditation, and they were almost ready to receive it, which meant that I could, after graduation, then apply for a license and become a licensed physician. So that excited me as well. So I enrolled, was accepted, and then once I started, the UB campus also hosted a chiropractic program and an acupuncture program at the time. And the naturopathic, chiropractic, and acupuncture program, because our education has a built-in in-house residency, where the uh, soon-to-be graduates are supervised by licensed naturopathic doctors in the clinics, and the clinics were open to community members, but also to students enrolled at UB. So the students could be seen by naturopathic doctors and acupuncturists and chiropractors for free. So I jumped
Wow.
all over that
Great.
opportunity because remember, I had no experience with this as well. I myself, went into it with many doubts because I'd never heard of this type of medicine before, but something just sat right with me in hearing about the testimonials and the the students at that time at the open houses who I spoke with, the doctors running the school. Like, I just felt like this was where I should go. So in experiencing naturopathic medicine and acupuncture in the clinic at the school, it changed my entire life, my outlook, my thoughts, every doubt just disappeared, because it was at that time a simple 2 visits, and 95% of my chronic urticaria that I had suffered with for, I want to say, about 16 years had all disappeared. So I was like so stoked because I was like, I made the right choice and I didn't even know. And so I started to learn about the history of naturopathic medicine, about hydrotherapy, about homeopathy, about this being like the foundational medicine. Like, before there were pharmaceutical drugs, there was naturopathic medicine, although it wasn't called that. I studied science, chemistry, biology, anatomy. I did it all.
Like you would
And
do at a regular or traditional medical school, right?
traditional medical school,
Pathophysiology,
physiology,
pharmacology.
absolutely, it was all there. And I couldn't miss a beat of it because
Yeah.
it wasn't easy.
Sure.
many late nights, but then we had a lot of fun classes where we spoke about how the mind influences the body, and um, how you can do simple things. And just, I remember a nutrition professor mentioning, you take dairy out of someone's diet and you can fix about 80% of their problems. And those types of things were profound to me because I'd never heard that. Like, in all my travels and in all my visits to doctors, with everything that was going on with me, we did food sensitivity test, not food sensitivity testing, but allergy testing, skin testing for different things. But food really wasn't, no one ever said, like, look at what you're eating or think about what you're eating and how it might be relating to what's going on with you. So learning these things was really exciting, and learning about, how food additives affect health and in small children, and learning about vaccines in children, and all these things that it was like, it was exciting. And so I really enjoyed my time spent learning. And then when I got to clinic, like the upperclassmen and licensed physicians that supervised in the clinics took care of me, I was able to see community members and help them on their journey to better health and wellness. And that was fulfilling as well, seeing people come in interested in natural healing, suffering with chronic illnesses, simple things, and they, like me, felt enlightened when they learned, like, what they were eating was affecting their blood sugar levels, how their lack of sleep and their chronic stress was affecting their weight gain, and their infertility, and things like that. So I would say I wouldn't trade it in for the world, but those 4 years really, like, it took a toll. And at the time I was also living in the Bronx and commuting to Connecticut every day. So it was interesting, but it was fulfilling, and I'm very happy.
That is fantastic. And you do a lot of work volunteering with the We Love You Foundation. And thank you for that as well. And even with all of those busy requirements you have with school, you still take time to enjoy your hobbies. Especially you like to read the Bible, and skating, basketball, taking nature walks. And so I don't know how you fit everything into your day, but you were able to do that. I wanted to just go back and talk a little bit because, as you know, my area of love and interest and expertise is in sickle cell anemia. And I thank all my Wilmingtonians who named me Best Holistic Medicine Practitioner in 2020 and 2021. I'm very honored to have this, as a just, for people to see this service that I offer to the community. When I first started in sickle cell 20 years ago, it was just more about treating their pain. We really didn't have a lot of options. It was either fluids, pain medicine, or blood transfusion. I want to say today it has changed a lot. We have more treatment options, but still, in our traditional medicine system, we don't, look at the patient as a whole person. And so a lot of what I do is really try to help them learn so much about themselves, educate them about, yes, you can have sickle cell, but you can live well with sickle cell. Changing a mindset and really shifting the paradigm in a way in which those living with sickle cell can live just a healthy life just like everyone else. And so what I wanted to ask you, Dr. Bowman, what kind of options or treatment options are available that you use in your practice to help those living with sickle cell live well?
First, I want to commend you, Dr. Nina, on your great work in the sickle cell community. That's just phenomenal. Like, I really look up to you and
Oh,
admire you for your dedication and your hard work.
thank you.
I feel like you've done more with We Love You over the years than I have. I'm coming on new, but it's exciting, and again, your work doesn't go unrecognized, and
Thank
I'm sure
you.
your community members are so happy to have you on their team. Um, as far as what I would have to offer for patients that are living with sickle cell is 100% on board with what you mentioned. Like, you can be living with sickle cell, but you can live well. It doesn't mean that you have to have a life riddled with pain and infection and fear of not being able to do certain things because you're suffering with this genetic condition. So what I like to do, not only just for sickle cell, but anyone dealing with a chronic illness, is I like to look at what is the diet like, because so much of what they're experiencing can be related to the diet. So we know, like sickle cell, the blood doesn't, the blood cells aren't all 100% normally shaped. So you want to make sure that that person is eating well to make healthy red blood cells, and that their circulation is not impaired, so that they're able to consume more water, make sure their blood is flowing well. They want to also make sure that they are not at risk for diabetes, which would just be another complication um, for that particular condition, you know. So that want to make sure that they have some amount of exercise depending on um, the individual and what is actually going on with them at that time. But there are lots of herbs that would be applicable in that case to help with circulation and pain and um, inflammation. Also, to make sure that the individual stays in good health and has a proper immune functioning. There's loads of I'm sorry, very nutritious foods that they can eat on
Mhm.
a regular basis to support immunity, also um, improve circulation, improve blood building, and um, reducing inflammation, which I think is going to be crucial in the case of someone suffering with sickle cell. So I personally like to use homeopathy as well. And I think that, and not just again for sickle cell, but for anyone facing a chronic condition, a lot of sometimes like what they would experience as a pain crisis or flare up can be related to stress. So
Mhm.
stress management is
Mm.
really, really key when you have a patient who's dealing with a long-term chronic or genetic condition in this case. So um, those would be the areas that I would address that particular patient's needs, is the stress management, hydration, water, diet, and botanical medicine, herbs.
Wow. And I'm sure too, Dr. Bowman, is you probably take time with all of your clients so they don't feel that they're rushed and you get to know them on a personal level. And I think that's just very important as well, so that you can tailor their care plan to meet their individual needs, which is so important, and really taking a very holistic approach to making sure that you're addressing all of the issues that can cause a sickle cell crisis, and keeping them in balance is very important. Well, I also wanted to share just some tips and we talked about, because I think, as we both a holistic medicine, me a practitioner, Dr. Bowman, your doctor, is that, some things can be very simple. It takes work to really
Yes.
live a healthy lifestyle. And so I want to share with our audience some TOVA tips. Got to drink plenty of water. Some say up to 72 ounces a day, but Dr. Bowman will chime in on that. Get plenty of rest. High quality sleep is very important, at least 7 to 8 hours a night. Dr. Bowman and I love to de-stress with tea. I personally like valerian root tea and chamomile, but Dr. Bowman has some other suggestions about teas that can help you de-stress. Eat more plants than meat. Exercise regularly with a warm-up stretch. Stretching is important before you exercise. And cut down on simple sugars. Dr. Bowman, can you weigh in on some of these TOVA tips?
Absolutely. This is perfect, Dr. Nina. I totally agree and co-sign. I believe water is so fundamental, and as you mentioned, it's so simple, but sometimes making these changes to a healthier lifestyle can be so challenging for some people.
Mhm.
So what I usually encourage my patients to do is drink half of their body weight in ounces of water. Now, this is the goal. So this is not something that you can just pick up and do the next day without spending half of your day in the restroom. So I encourage them to try to increase by half the amount of water that they're currently drinking, increase by half within a week, and every week increase by another half over a week's time. That way you give
Mhm.
your body a chance to acclimate to the increased volume.
I
And
would
then
appreciate that too.
I know. And sometimes even like just a few specks of sea salt in the water will help for the water to be better absorbed so that you
Okay.
don't have a lot of frequent restroom trips. But somewhere in between where they are and half their body weight in ounces of water, they'll find like a good balance for themselves,
Mhm.
and it will teach them like to recognize when they feel hydrated.
Mhm. Mhm. And what about in exercising? What would you say about that? What kind of tips
I
do you give
love
to your
it.
clients?
I love this. I always forget
You
that
like to
part.
take walks in
To
a park like me, so.
Oh my gosh, yes, I love to walk outside. As a matter of fact, when we're done, that's probably where you'll find me. But um, I agree. Start with a warm up stretch. This is so important, even for people who are suffering with sickle cell and are going through pain crisis. It's still so important to move your body, like like that commercial or advertisement said, a body in motion stays in motion.
Yes.
Um, so it's so good, and it's foundational to really keep your muscles healthy and strong, and reduce the risk of injury when you do eventually start to work out. So stretching is ideal. Exercise, I say, talk to the practitioner handling your care, but I generally like to encourage people start with 30 minutes a couple of times a week. Don't think that you need to spend an hour or two in the gym lifting heavy weights. You don't have to be that intense initially. To start with, I like 30 minutes of just walking. It could be cycling, it could be an elliptical. I even like playing tennis. Like if there's a sport that's not too that you could play with one other person, that's not too intense, you can do that. Skating,
Mhm.
that's why some of my hobbies are like skating, bike riding, because
Mhm.
those are things that you can easily get lost doing that for 30 minutes and you don't even recognize that it's exercise.
Yeah,
Dancing is another one.
that's very good. So, Dr. Bowman, we could talk and talk all day, I'm sure, because
Yes.
you just have such a wealth of knowledge. I do want to ask you a few questions about
Sure.
gut health before we
Mhm.
close out. One of them, it was just on your Instagram page and website, you talk a lot about the importance of maintaining good gut health. Can you talk to our audience about that? Why is your gut important in improving your overall health?
Yes, certainly. This is foundational. Like your gut is where you absorb and um, you absorb your nutrients that your body needs to do what it's
Mhm.
supposed to do. So we eat because we need to live, right? And
Mhm.
although food has become very tasty over the years and so delicious, and sometimes we
Mhm.
eat things that don't necessarily agree with us, but um, the purpose of eating is to provide your body with all the nutritional requirements that it actually needs. And we know this because there are conditions that are caused from deficiencies in certain vitamins and nutrients that your body doesn't have. So to make sure that your gut is intact um, is necessary for optimal health, because if there's inflammation in the gut, you're going to, long term, there's going to be a problem. And when you already have a chronic illness, a chronic condition, it's even more pressing to make sure that your gut health is intact, because that's where the inflammation will start from. So if you're eating
Mhm.
things that don't agree with you, if you're eating things that are causing low grade inflammation, or if you have a lot of food intolerances, a lot of allergies, whether environmental or food related, this is going to translate to inflammation in the body wherever your genetics will already predispose for
Mhm.
there to be an issue. So I think looking at the diet, look at what you're eating is so important. And I have my patients, what they do when I work with them is take a food diary for 3 days at minimum. You just jot down what you've been eating and how you felt every time you ate.
Mm.
And that kind of forces them to reflect on what they've been consuming and how it's affecting them. Because sometimes we're just so in a rush, we don't even realize there's a connection, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so that's why I make the emphasis to really like consider gut health, because you can alleviate so many symptoms by addressing the health of the gut.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Bowman. So I just wanted to ask, I mean, I'm sure that there are going to be people in our viewing audience that may want to have a personal consultation with you. And I want to make sure that they know how to reach you. But also wanted to just talk again about naturopathic medicine and the services that you offer. So nutritional counseling, we were just talking a little bit about that, mind and body counseling, herbal medicine, homeopathy, vitamin supplements, hydrotherapy, detoxification, and lifestyle modifications. And that you do address ailments such as diabetes, gut health, sickle cell, anemia, insomnia, focus and attention problems, anxiety, depression, weight loss management, hormonal problems, allergies, and more. But more importantly, Dr. Bowman, and I found this on your Instagram page and I thought this was very prolific. And you just like me, I'm always sending out these empowering and inspirational quotes just to keep our clients in a positive state of mind, because that's really important to help improve their overall health and wellness, is that change is a process that takes time and strategy.
Yes,
I'm going to leave you
yes.
on some last minute remarks.
Yeah, that rings true every time. What I like to let people know when they decide to work with me is this is not an overnight, quick, or easy fix. There's going to be days when you want to throw in the towel, but that's why I'm here to support you. Also, a lot of people that come to me that want to work with me have tried many natural things. You know, there's so much information on the web and on social media, and tips here and there. Someone, everyone knows someone who's taking something that's done something amazing in their life.
Right.
But sometimes it doesn't work the same way for every individual. So it takes strategizing or individualization of a therapeutic plan to get every individual to accomplish their health goals. So I like that quote a lot as well, because it kind of just sums up what I do when or what I offer to patients who are looking for natural health.
Thank you. Thank you. So before we end, I just want to let our viewing audience know that they can watch their episodes on our channel, TOVA Health TV. This is TOVA Tuesday, and we are talking today with Dr. Monique Bowman. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to make a donation to TOVA Community Health and you like our episodes, you can do so by donating on our Cash App at $TOVA Health. You can also go to our PayPal by emailing us at contact@tovacommunityhealth.org, or you can visit us on Facebook and Instagram at TOVA Community Health and make a donation, or go to our website at www.tovacommunityhealth.org. I also just want Dr. Bowman to know how they can reach you if they want to have a personal consultation with you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nina. My office number is 845-764-3027. My website address is www.hhwnaturopathic.com. And my email is drbowmand@gmail.com. And also you can find me on Instagram at HHW Naturopathic.
Thank you so much for joining us today on our TOVA Tuesday, where we have talked to Dr. Bowman today, Naturopathic Doctor, on how to improve your overall health and wellness. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Take care.